They're at your fingertips.
Yeah, and there's a lot of community, and I guess it's like sometimes we can choose our community, sometimes we can't necessarily, and both are kind of parts of that. Like, yeah, you can choose your neighbors to an extent. You can choose the people you live around just by where you live, but you can't choose like who's going to live in every single apartment in the apartment building,
the house,
who lives above and below you, and
who lives across the street from you.
So yeah, there's a lot to deal with within the community. Like it still is a community we have here, but I think we're all going to different places. Like, I know for you for a period worked out of this, like not in this borough.
No.
You have to go travel into borough for work. I have to travel into borough for work. And it's like we're always on the go, we're always going to one place to the other place. Tourists are here, we're trying to walk around them because they think, and that's something I really noticed this week. Like I'm like really trying not to rush myself, but something about this city, like it is like this city makes you want to go, get there as fast as you can.
Be the first one on the parking,
yeah, like everything is like a competition. Everything is this and that. And I noticed even driving here, I was like, doing some stuff. I was behind someone from Ohio going 15 miles per hour, and I was like, but I really tried to tell myself like, don't rush. Just get through. Just you'll get there when you get there. Because every time I rush or every time I do something, it's like there's no reason.
There's no point to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like as much as I love New York, and it's never quiet. We are the concrete jungle. That's why we're never quiet. And like you said, like I've driven in Canada, I've driven in Florida, I've driven other places, like Puerto Rico even. You just go with the flow. Like there's no real rush behind it. And then you come to New York and it's like, no, and you can't cut me off. No, you can't come in front of me. No, you can't get there. No, you can't. You have to fight for the parking space. No, you have to. And it's like, bro, I just want to breathe. Let me take a minute and park like a moron and not worry about somebody hitting my car because they didn't check when they opened their door. Yeah. And I get that happens everywhere. But New York is just like that. It's like somebody light a firecracker and shove up your shirt, basically. Yeah. And you have to go fast.
And no, and it's not even like because I went to Pennsylvania a few months ago. I was there for like a weekend. So it was like 2-3 days without this. And I drove through Staten Island. Oh, like the second I got through Staten Island, like it just felt it again. Like it was just there. And I'm like, why is everyone like this here? I feel like it's, for me, I've always considered like the density of like cars and people almost. It's like, were we really meant to interact with these people? This many people in a day, like in cars, like in people like this, like walking around in the city, like I feel like it's like that, but like the car aspect of it, it's like you have no idea what these people's lives are like.
You don't know if they're angry in the car, you don't know anything. And like now when I have to go in, I drive up that way, so going towards Connecticut and Jersey, kind of spice. And sometimes when you're coming out of the Bronx, which I'm in like Mount Vernon, Yonkers area, you're like angry and rush, and then as soon as you get like closer off that highway, it's like you just don't care. You're like cruising in the middle lane. It's like okay, it's gotta be the tension that's like cast over. It's like a looming dark cloud on New York City.
Yes. Yeah.
And that sounds so horrible because it's not like don't come visit. No, come visit. Yeah. Just come with the intention of people being angry 90% of the time. Welcome to New York.
Hey, let's. Elmo wants to join too.
Oh my god, I creeped me out just now.
So, this is definitely prevalent amongst like car drivers, and it's so interesting because there's a huge subset of people that like they don't own a car. They like that's not even like something that they do. And interestingly, it probably is like a vast. I don't know what percentage of the population is.
So after COVID, my cousin and I, Melissa, actually had this conversation yesterday or the day before. We went out to get some stuff for Easter for my kid, for mine obviously, and I'm like, what the heck? Like I'm so annoyed. Like we can't find parking, and we've been driving forever. And she's like, after COVID, during COVID, everybody went for their license. It's just easy to get it online. Yeah. But that's the problem. Everybody that got their license in COVID, they did not go in person. Mm-hmm. They did that online because everything was online.
Yeah.
And a lot of the drivers that are new or recently driving don't have the experience to drive. They drove when COVID was happening. Not a lot of cars were on the road.
Sure.
They drove because the buses were not running all the time, or you had to pay cabs, and you had this rules of mask, and cars were cheaper at that time. These people have no idea what they're in the middle. A lot of people don't know the regular rules of the road. Like I was on a 4-way a couple days ago. I arrived first. This guy went in front. I'm like, I'm not fucking shit. I'm ready to go. I'm like, are you kidding me? And then I was like, I literally stopped in the middle and I looked at all of them. And I'm like, you can't go unless I go. So I know that wasn't the right thing, but it's like, do you guys understand how this process works? No, we don't all go at once. Like, it doesn't work that way. But I was like, a lot of people just don't know what the hell they did.
And that kind of, I feel like it goes back to like how I feel about like interacting with these people. It's like, I don't know your life story. I don't know how your parents took care of you. I don't know if you know your manners. I don't know if you're this. All I know is that like you're in a car next to me, and I don't like how you drive.
You drive me, so I will go over there.
Yeah, yeah. Like a lot of people, I feel like don't drive safely, and it's funny. I feel like we all think like we're the best drivers. Like, as individuals.
I don't think I'm the best driver. I think I can loudly admit I have road rage because I will curse you out if I feel like you're doing something stupid. Especially like where I live, I have to jump the highway to get everywhere. But if I could take local as far as I can, I'll do it because that gives me time to stop at a stoplight. That gives me time to stop at a stop sign and really recollect myself before I get onto the highway. I've had prior incidents because I've had an accident when I was younger. Not my fault, but I have knee injuries. So I try not to sit on one straight road where I can't stop and go and rearrange myself. Okay. So I do that for myself. But in that same moment, it's like, none of you who just crossed this line should be here because why are you like this? Like, and some people like the double parking. If I'm double parked across the street or something, you can't double park the same side because how are people going to pass? Yeah. Like, that's New York for you. No matter where you go in the city, that's New York.
Yeah. And even so, I say we both kind of live on the outskirts.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're closer to
like Connecticut and Jersey and stuff.
And I'm like 10 minutes out from Long Island. So I feel like we're both in areas where like having a car and driving is more convenient. And then there's those people that live closer to the inner city where like, yeah, maybe it'd be kind of a pain to have a car. But with the congestion pricing and when all that kind of started earlier this year, like I personally was not like the hugest proponent of it. I haven't driven into the city since. And it's like, okay, and here's taking your $9, like thanks. Like and personally for me, like I don't really enjoy driving in Manhattan. And obviously like when you say in the city, we're meaning Manhattan. For those who don't know, that's what we
call
the city is Manhattan, even though the whole city is New York City. But yes, anyway. I would probably drive into the city on like a week and nighttime. Like I would like to drive in at night if it wasn't too busy, because to get back to where I live sometimes with public transportation is really difficult, especially like after a certain time of the evening. I live a few minutes, like a 15-20 minute walk from the Long Island Railroad, and that train comes every hour. When I take my commute to work, I take a bus to the 7's stop at Flushing Main Street, and then take that all the way there. Like doing that after like a certain time, like it would take me probably over an hour, 2 hours to get home. So it's either like I leave relatively early from where I am, or I try and make those trains at a certain time because it's like I have to be there on the hour, or else I have to wait a whole another hour for that. And there's been several moments where I was like, F it, I'll take a cab and I'll spend like $50-$60 just to get home, just so I don't have to wait another hour. Like time, and that's another thing about New York. It's like time is so valuable.
It is valuable. Like no matter where, and I travel with, if I take my to go do an event in the city, everybody makes fun of me. I don't take regular MTA. I take the Metro North, and everybody makes fun of me. Oh, you're bougie for. I'm like, yes and no, because that's a $5.75 ticket depending on the time you go, every 30 to 45 minutes. But then I have my kid to consider, and there's a lot of craziness on the MTA, so I won't be subjecting her to that. But then I'll look at the $9 toll, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna drive my damn car into the city and look and hope for parking. And after hours, you get free parking on certain streets. So
yeah, and that's a reason why I would drive into. I actually every time I've driven to the city, I've never paid for a parking garage.
Oh, I have, because I get something.
Yeah.
And I go.
But yeah, but it depends on the time of day. Like I'll go at night, so that's when all those parking restrictions go up. I used to work in Soho, and that was 8 to 6 p.m. no parking. But after 6, it was fair game, and that was only Monday through Friday. So Saturday, like that was all jam packed. It would take me so long to find a spot sometimes. Keeping in mind, I lived an hour and a half public transportation away from there, bus to train to train to train, and sometimes that drive could be 30, maybe 40 minutes. So it would take me half the time to drive there. And then there was no congestion pricing at the time. I would take the Williamsburg Bridge. So I was not paying to go there.
Yeah.
And I've seen like a lot of people feeling like, like cars are not good for the city. Like they want more walkable places. And it's like, for me, I just kind of feel like everybody's the problem. There's the pedestrians are the problem, the drivers are the problem, the bus drivers are the problem, the taxi drivers are the problem. Like we're all
problems.
We're all problems because I've seen people, jaywalking is a art form here in the city, but I've seen people literally just like seem to not care about their lives.
Because they feel like if they get hit, they're right no matter what. And I actually go through that a lot with my mother. She'll wait at the light, and I'm like, okay, it's cool. And sometimes when I'm in a rush, just her and I'll run over. But having a kid, it's like, what are you setting an example for? Especially in the city. Like Christmas time, you guys know, New York and Christmas go hand in hand. It's like you have to be in New York to do Christmas. And I feel like when we go to Bryant Park, I will drive down there, even if I have to pay for parking. Even if I have the parking app on my phone, and like you renew it every 15 minutes, every 2 hours and 15 minutes. But taking the train or walking, all you see everybody just walking in the middle of the road. I'm like, are you guys kidding me? Like you have 90 kids watching you guys who are going to think they don't understand and just do the same. So that's the problem there. But other than that, like we are all, you're right, absolutely the problem in New York City.
Yeah. And, pedestrians do have the right of way, but it's like you're doing all the wrong to have that right of way. And yeah, I totally agree with you with setting an example for kids. I mean, my mom, like this might sound a little excessive, but when we were in the stroller, she would actually put herself like in front of the cars and kind of like take us on the side. So like if some person were to some reason, like she would be the one in front of us. And then I see like parents like jaywalking with their kids. And then it's like just a comparison of those things. It's like, no, like I feel like if I have a child and when I see parents with their children and they're like not going, I obviously understand that they're like setting examples, with roadways and all this, and like I think that's good.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, I have somewhere to go and there's no cars coming, so I'm going. And then it's funny when I'm driving, obviously I'm like, these jaywalkers, and then sometimes I'm the jaywalker. Like I'm not.
We're all the problem because we play the rules that work for us. Like you see me with Maya when we went to the parade. The roads are closed. I'm still holding her hands across the street. Yeah. But then when we go out, I just don't care. Just walk. I'm like, whatever. So we are all the problem. That's not to turn anyone off from coming to New York.
Of course not.
Please come to New York.
Do you have to come here at least once.
Don't come in the summer though, unless you want to melt.
Yeah. And then bikers.
Oh no, let's not start. And another thing I was thinking, you were right. Like a lot of people want to make the city less congested. I feel like there should be a rule. If your zip code ends in this area, you could drive because there's no public transportation around this.
Mm-hmm.
Like if your zip code on your license or ID has like where there's trains 2 seconds away, by all means take a public commute. Don't get mad at us who live 20, 30 minutes out.
Yeah.
Think about it like that. And I take the Metro North and I literally have MTA up the block, but I do it for safety.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. I've seen a lot of, for me, I'm like, but then again, me just being a man, and also like personally, like the Flushing 7 train, like I've had bouts, I've had instances. I think homophobic remarks have only been made to me on the NYC subway. Like that's the only instances of my life I experienced homophobia, and also on the Staten Island ferry, which is still another form of public transportation technically.
It is.
So for me, generally, and this is just me, like I do not feel unsafe on it for like the majority of the time, and I know that is different because I'm a man, and the times I'm taking it is mostly during commuting hours. So it's like, What are you gonna do to me when I'm jam packed in this train with a bunch of other people, like packed like sardines sometimes, and so. But the other day, I had to take a huge detour because the 7 train was not running, and I had to detour all the way to Jamaica. and then take the bus from Jamaica.
Oh my
And
God.
that was a very different experience for me. And it was funny because that whole day I have a video idea. I guess I'll just talk about it now. It was talking about it's a song, and the song is about like, you know, staying or walking away, staying or walking away. So it made me start thinking about cycles and how we get ourselves out of cycles. And the solution that I came up with in my mind is like, you just have to start doing everything different. Not before you ramping up to that decision, like I was like, you get out of bed on the other side. And then obviously a lot of people say, then you commute, you take a different route to work. And for me, that was the one I was meeting resistance with, because I'm like, there's no way I'm taking more time out of my day. So I'm like, this bus works for me. I always stay in this cart because I know this, and this is quickest, and this is fastest. And then the same day that I'm like having that mentality and I had the idea for this video, I had a really huge delay and I had to take a detour. And it did take me almost 2 hours to get home.
Jeez. It's funny to say that because like I'm thinking about like my resistance with MTA is not many people know this obviously because unless you know my pockets, I have high anxiety on the train. I do not like being on the MTA. I literally feel like the walls of the train are closing at all the time. But I go on the Metro North and I feel like I'm this girl Sunday, you know, going to work from like Connecticut or something like, and maybe that's my judgment part there. But I have been followed off the MTA twice. Yeah. When I used to take it years ago, I've been flashed more times than I need to on the MTA by lovely gentlemen. Don't have any idea who they are. And I've actually been on the MTA where like I've seen like fights happen, like big bad blood leaving trail fights. So I think maybe that's what like contributes to the anxiety. Yeah. And that's what caused me to look for a different route, which is how I ended up with the Metro North. Yeah. So now I refuse to do anything but go on the Metro North. So
that makes sense. So there's a reason that you have this anxiety. There's a reason for that. Like for me, like, and you know, people in my family have like a similar sentiment. Like my mom won't really take it, but she has recently because, you know, she does have a studio apartment in the city, and kind of like there's no choice. She kind of does have to take it, and she's been fine. But my sister, you know, who lives by me too, has like a similar sentiment. She's like, I'm not Long Island Railroad. I think she did something downtown, and she took a taxi from Penn Station to downtown, and then it cost that much. You know, I think that was probably over $60. And then she's like, She's like, not doing that. So she found, I don't know if she ended up walking all the way back up to Penn Station or if she finally did take the subway, but I know she was like, I want to say a certain expression, but it has, you know, blanking bricks. It's right back. And it's like, you know, I have to respect that point of view. And this is, she's lived in this city her whole life. This isn't something new to her, but there is this anxiety, there is this fear. And it's like, you can believe that like nothing bad will happen to you, which is kind of like my thing, but you have to also respect the point of view of others and how they feel and their past experiences or what they have seen or what they've been exposed to as to why they don't necessarily ride the subway. You can't just like, what's the word? Like you can't just gaslight people into thinking it's safe all the time. But you know, also if it's like, you know, maybe give it a chance. Like maybe like on like a Sunday morning, you know, maybe when it's like the least amount crowded, like maybe, but maybe. You know what I think about Toronto? So before I left Toronto, we only had 2 subway lines. New York City, obviously, we have 99. Canada, we had one that went straight and one that went in a U. When I went back recently, obviously, there's like 10 more lines. I haven't explored them. Yeah. But the neighborhood I grew up in, we didn't have public transportation right there. It's like where you live. We had to take a bus to the train. Yeah. So my whole life, that didn't bother me because the train either went in a U or went in a straight line. But then we have something called a GO train. And that would take you, like our Metro North, and take you. So I got used to the Metro North, even though I still had the U in the line. But the anxiety was never there. It's the New York life. It's really the anxiety with New York. And the fact that we're some aggressive people, like enter word here. Yes. And then topping that off with homeless, emotionally disturbed people who do frequent the subway as well. It's just like a company of different attitudes. Their homeland. So, and I mean that is just a reality of the situation. Especially, I mean, and I understand it, especially during the winter months. Like, where are they going to say that's warm? Probably a warm subway cart. And I think until there's a viable solution for that, like that's just going to be how it is. And I understand if people don't want to be around that. And I kind of understand, like, why like half the cart is like empty and then the other cart is full because everyone's kind of giving them space.
I don't think it's giving space, but yeah, we're giving space.
Yeah.
Anyone that lives in New York, you know what we meant by giving space. So. Yeah. But other than that, I've been to the subway in other countries. It's bad.
Yeah.
I think it's just New York. And other states too. I think New York just has this like Law and Order vibe.
I mean, that's why it's set here, right? A lot of the city is like being a part of the grind and being proud of that. And that's just a mentality that like I don't really want to subscribe to.
No, I think we've grown out of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the hustle and the grind. It sounds cool, hustle culture.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that shit. Like, give me like a front porch and I'll just go sit down all day and watch outside.
I know, because it's just like such a come up to be like, oh, I worked through and I did all of this and now this is like where I am. Like everyone kind of wants that come up story. No, I don't. But it's like, just be on the come up. Just be the come up. Like you don't have to. But I feel like a lot of people
they need that backstory to build it. Like I can say I grew up in a suburban area in Canada. Technically, I came here, had hustle mentality, thought it was like. It obviously wasn't the hype, but you thought you were like living this New York dream. But if I could go somewhere warmer because Canada is blank cold all the time, I would go back to my suburban life. I really would. Now that I've lived in New York for so long and seen it and finally admit my feelings and thinking back home, the only thing that's stopping me from Canada is the weather, in all honesty, because I do not want... They had snow last week.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. I'm not okay with that. I like snow for Christmas. That's it. Nothing past. Yeah. But, yeah, I really would prefer my suburban life. It's what I'm used to.
Yeah, and, when I visit my family, I'm like, I see it. I'm like, I can see like why a lot of my family moved out to Long Island. Some of them moved to Connecticut. And I'm like, I see it. Like, it's calmer. It's just calmer. There's not like this huge sense of urgency. Like yesterday I visited my godson and my cousins, and then we just walked down to like the pier at the end of the road. They have water access basically. Like it was so beautiful. It was so nice. And it's like, here we're just all like crammed together. Some parts more cramped than none. But what it made me think of actually is that kind of like our soul journey and kind of like our life paths here. We choose our obstacles and we choose if you are of this belief, which is, I am of this belief that we choose these obstacles, we choose these things to become like a more fully realized soul and human being. So I wonder if people are called to New York for a similar reason, because it is a difficult place to live and it is very expensive. But, if you come out on top of that, then if you make it here, you make it anywhere.
Well, I used to think like that. If you can drive in New York, you can drive anywhere.
Yeah.
I still say that. But coming to New York, it's like literally holding your soul in one hand and hoping the devil doesn't present you with something. And maybe not the devil's right word, but hoping you're not presented with an option where you have to trade your soul for that option. And I feel like I've been put in that place because I believe exactly like you do. Like you go through certain things so you can elevate to a higher sense. New York is that place where I'll offer you $1 million for your soul. And most people in a desperate situation wouldn't even hear the soul part. They would just say, here's $1 million for no cost. And not realizing New York is that city. I feel like LA has the same reputation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what are you willing to do to get to that top tier? But how much of yourself are you willing to trade in for that? Because coming here would be good if you knew it was hustle mentality, you got what you wanted, you grinded, and you made it big wherever you wanted to go. But when you think of people who made it big, or almost made it big, or had their name out there in New York, or Long Island, LA, or Miami, or somewhere big, what did they lose in the process? How many people you could say were in Hollywood that didn't lose themselves? And that's just using Hollywood.
Oh, like pretty much all of them.
Exactly. So it's like, what are you willing to trade?
Yeah.
To get to that I made it mentality. And what is I made it?
What is I made it?
For me right now, what I would be is literally go back to a suburban life, to give up this whole hustle and bustle. And it's funny, I'm not going to mention who. I was speaking with someone about like moving out of New York, and they're like, no, I need the fast life. And I'm like, but you don't go out partying, you don't hang out, you don't drink, you don't do any of those things. What do you need oh, I need to know something's always open. Why? That's a form of anxiety. That's a form of like, it's a drug. It's a bad constant need. Like, you need to know something's open, but you don't leave your house past 8 o'clock. Why do you need to do that?
The just in case.
The just in case. Ever like what? Why?
Yeah, and I think that's like it brings up like an interesting thing too. Some people just don't like to be home, I guess.
But this person doesn't go out.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's like they don't like to leave their home, but they want to have the access to that option. And that seems nice to me. And actually, like, I want to talk to you about something that I was thinking about off this. But yeah, at the same time, it's like, but are you taking advantage of that? Are you using that? Are you using that option? And why do you want that? And why would this person want an option like that for them? For me, I want to be like Cinderella. Like, the clock strikes midnight, I'm like, why am I here? All I'm thinking about, but then again, it's like also still that New York mentality to me, because all I'm thinking about is when I'm going to wake up the next day. And then it's going to be, because once it's after midnight, I'm like, oh, I'm waking up late. For me to get home, I want 8 hours of sleep. I'm probably getting up till 9-10. That's already in the middle of the day. So I'm already like planning out my next day just from my present moment. And, that's not good. If I'm out, I should be in the present moment. I should be enjoying myself. But like
I used to be like that. I did. Now, like, I'm hearing you, and it's like, I used to count how many hours I'd get, what I have to do the next day. And now, since I've like succumbed to this, like, I no longer care for this, I just don't do it. If I, even like your birthday stuff, I left at a certain time because I'm like, I'm just tired. I just want to go home. Like, it shifts. That was like a big revelation hearing you. Like, I no longer care for this New York lifestyle. I no longer care to be, I love what I do here. So that's going to be hard to leave unless I can do it no matter where I'm at. But when you really sit and think about it, I don't want to think about tomorrow, today. I don't want to know what's going to go on. I don't want to count my hours to sleep. And I don't mind, like, telling you about that person. I don't care that everything's 24 hours because I'm usually knocked out by 10 o'clock. So it really makes you think, like, what, besides having the comfort of my child, knowing her where she lives, like, what's the point of staying in here? And I say comfort of staying in one place because I moved a lot as a child. So
yeah, so you're like ready to like get those roots in and really like
kind of like figure out where I belong. But I'm not saying I'm old, but in my younger days I was all ready for like all this like hustle and bustle, and now it's like, no, I just want a backyard. I just want a front porch. I miss having those simple features I grew up with. Just like sit there, do nothing.
Yeah, and like here, it's like that's like a commodity that and then I kind of am like, I do have all those. Well, not really.
I don't like your front porch because I don't like where the direction is, for sure.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't really consider that a porch. I mean, it's kind of.
I mean, you can sit outside, but I just don't like your front view. That would keep me all day long.
Oh yeah, I live across the street from a cemetery. That's why she's saying. So I'm like, it's like possible, but then again, like with the rising costs here, it's like that house cost less than $200,000 when my parents bought it, and now it's probably more than quadruple that. Like, so it's also just becoming like that kind of suburban life. Like, it's starting to become like inaccessible for some, or like if you do, then you're like really giving up. Like,
but that's the thing too. Like, even if you look at another state. You could go to Texas and buy this great 5-bedroom mansion, but the cost of living is different, which means the cost of pay is different, which means like you're gonna have to like. I think that's the hard point for a lot of New Yorkers to leave New York. They don't want this busy hustle lifestyle, but when you go down there, you're taking a pay cut to get something bigger. Can you actually afford that? Is that where the depression sets in when people leave New York?
Yeah,
because a lot of people left New York in COVID.
Yes.
A lot, and it's like now they're moving back, but there's nowhere to go because the cost is so expensive in here. But also our pay grade for something not so big is still higher than a lot of places.
Yes,
it's a lot of factors to thinking.
It's a lot of factors to thinking. So, if you could live anywhere, where would you live?
Hawaii.
Right.
Or Florida. Or
Right.
like, so I don't mind. I'll even go to Texas. I honestly don't mind as long as I'm in the warmth. I'm over the cold. Like, I don't mind. I love having New York and Christmas and snow for Christmas and stuff like that. I don't get me wrong. I love all those wonderful snow activities. I just don't want to be in that cold weather for more than 2 months at a time.
Yeah, I can see that. For me, I feel like I like the seasons. I like the seasons. I maybe not like maybe it doesn't have to be like the New York seasons, but I think maybe like I'll go to for me like the answer to my question would be like my Swiss chalet off of Lac Léman in Geneva or somewhere along the Mediterranean, or the Maltese
You went across the whole world. I just picked within the continent.
I said anywhere in the world.
I literally said continent. I stayed on the continent.
Well, Hawaii's kind of all.
It's on the continent.
It's not on the continent.
It's part of the continent.
It's not. It's
well, if we're going across the world,
yeah.
London. I would love to live in London.
See, there we go.
I would love to live in London.
And I love London too. Yeah. But so it's interesting because for those who don't know, I versed in astrocartography, and I have a North Node line that goes right through London, and I think it is the IC.
Yeah, I think it's your IC. We were talking about
I
had nothing going through London.
Yeah, but now we can see if you have any parents or anything like that, any secondary influences. But yeah, so I do feel really cozy there, and I don't even when I was on the tube, even when it was crowded, it just doesn't feel as hectic and as up here than New York. It feels doable.
It feels like normal.